Hey there, lovely soul. Welcome back to Noah's Stories. How have you been lately? I hope you're taking gentle care of yourself. Tonight, I've got something truly special for you, a story about second chances, unexpected love, and the kind of courage that only shows up when your world starts to fall apart. So find a quiet corner, wrap yourself in something cozy, and let me take you to a snowy December night at O'Hare Airport, where one woman's heartbreak turns into something beautifully unexpected. It's a freezing December night in 2024, and Chicago's O'Hare International Airport hums with the rhythm of holiday travel. Rolling suitcases, muffled announcements, the scent of overpriced coffee. Outside, snow drifts softly against the wide glass windows, a quiet contrast to the rush inside. Emma Caldwell, 28, steps off a flight from Seattle with nothing but a carry-on and a heart still tender from a breakup she didn't see coming. Her long brown coat is wrapped tight around her, scarf drawn up high, trying to shield herself from more than just the cold. The past few months have drained her, emotionally, mentally, and she's finally done running. Chicago is home, or at least it used to be. She's come back, hoping to start fresh, though she's not entirely sure what that means anymore. Emma used to design luxury interiors for tech startups on the West Coast. But since her relationship fell apart, so did her client list. Now she's starting over, alone, unsure, and already overwhelmed. The city feels both familiar and distant, like a song she once knew all the words to but hasn't heard in years. She doesn't know it yet, but tonight everything in her world is about to shift, starting right here in the arrivals hall. Emma threads her way through the crowd at baggage claim, mind foggy, fingers numb. She's halfway to the exit when she hears a voice that slices clean through the airport noise. Well, well, look who finally decided to come home. She freezes. That voice, smooth, self-satisfied, belongs to Brandon Hale, her ex-boyfriend. Emma turns slowly, her stomach tightening. There he stands, smug in his tailored overcoat, hair slicked back like he just stepped out of a courtroom ad, and next to him, arms crossed and wearing a smirk that could curdle milk, is Sienna Blake, her 26-year-old half-sister, the same half-sister who once posted a filtered birthday selfie while their mother was in the ICU. Emma can barely find her voice before Brandon steps closer, his words slicing through the cold air. "Emma, I'm with Sienna now. You were always too much, or not enough. Either way, I'm done." The pain hits fast, but Sienna's venom is what really cuts. She lifts her phone, her voice dripping sugar and spite. "I've got receipts, Em. All those messages you sent him, I can twist them, post them. Tomorrow morning, you'll be trending for all the wrong reasons." Emma's breath catches. She sees it already, her name dragged through comment sections, her face attached to cruel captions. Her pulse pounds in her ears. "You wouldn't," she says, voice barely above a whisper. Sienna shrugs. "Try me." Emma stumbles backward, nearly dropping her suitcase, just as she collides into someone solid behind her. She turns, flustered, only to meet a pair of steady blue eyes. Ben Bennett, 33, in a simple black coat and worn boots, takes one look at the scene and steps forward. "Is there a problem here?" he says, calm and firm. "Honey, I've been waiting. We've got plans." Ben's voice cuts through the tension like a blade, measured, confident, almost rehearsed. Brandon falters, caught off guard. Sienna scoffs, trying to size up this stranger. "And who exactly are you?" she spits. Ben doesn't blink. Someone who doesn't like watching people gang up on someone who's done nothing wrong. Now back off. Brandon grumbles something under his breath and grabs Sienna's arm. Her heels echo sharply on the tile floor as they storm off, the threat still lingering in the air. Emma stands frozen, heart thudding. She turns to Ben, still reeling. "Thank you," she breathes. "You didn't have to do that." Ben shrugs, a faint, almost reluctant smile tugging at his lips. "Looked like you could use a hand. I'm Ben, by the way." "Emma," she replies, still dazed. "Emma Caldwell." But even as the tension eases, the panic doesn't fade. Sienna will follow through. Emma knows her too well. The idea of her life going up in viral flames twists her insides into knots. And then, like lightning through fog, an idea sparks, reckless, half mad, but maybe the only way out. She looks at Ben, desperation and defiance colliding in her gaze. This might sound insane, but will you marry me? Just on paper. I need a shield. And right now, you're the only person who feels safe. He blinks. What? Not for real, just on paper. If I'm married, her narrative falls apart. It buys me time. Ben studies her. Ex-firefighter used to split-second decisions. Something in her voice pulls at him. After a beat, he nods. Okay, but if we do this, we do it on our terms. We can call it off whenever we want. Emma nods. Deal. The cab ride to the city clerk's office is a blur. Twinkling Christmas lights outside, fluorescent buzz inside. Paperwork slides across the counter. Names are signed. A tired clerk stamps the certificate without looking up. Congratulations, she mutters. Emma stares at the paper in her hands. Her name now legally tied to Ben Bennett, a man she met less than an hour ago. They step out into the icy night, the marriage certificate tucked in her purse like a ticking time bomb. What now? She asks. Ben shrugs, that faint smile again. We figure it out. They do, sort of. Emma's small walk-up in Wicker Park becomes Ben's temporary home. He arrives with a duffel bag and a quiet presence that somehow doesn't feel intrusive. The first few days are awkward. She works at her kitchen table, designing layouts for boutique cafes and startup offices, while he claims to be job hunting on his phone. In truth, Ben is juggling a secret life. CEO of Bennett Developments, a real estate empire he's quietly stepped away from. To Emma, he's just a retired firefighter figuring out his next move. But even in the silence, they settle into a rhythm. He fixes the leaky faucet without being asked, buys groceries, cooks dinner. One night, he makes pasta from scratch, the kitchen filled with warmth and garlic. Emma blinks, impressed. Where'd you learn to do that? Firehouses get boring, he says with a grin. You pick things up. She laughs, a sound rare and unguarded. Something loosens between them. They still don't know what this is, but for the first time since the night at the airport, Emma doesn't feel completely alone. Dinner becomes a quiet ritual. Shared meals, soft music, the low hum of the city outside. One night, after finishing a bottle of red wine gifted by a former client, Emma finds herself speaking more freely than usual. My mom died when I was 16, she says, eyes on her glass. Cancer. My dad married Sienna's mom 6 months later. It was like I disappeared. Ben listens, fork paused midair. I moved out the day I turned 18, she continues. Haven't looked back since. Sienna? She's always played the victim in designer heels. My dad? I think he just wanted to forget my mom existed. Ben's gaze softens. That's rough. Sounds like you've been on your own a long time. Emma nods, swallowing the lump in her throat. Pretty much. She looks at him. What about you? Ben hesitates, then offers a partial truth. Former firefighter, parents passed a few years ago, no siblings, it's just me now. It's enough for now. Emma doesn't push. There's something in his eyes that says the rest of his story is locked away, not ready to be told. Later, they sit on the couch, the TV murmuring in the background. Their hands brush, neither moves. Emma breaks the silence. I don't know why you said yes to this. Ben glances at her, voice quiet but certain. Because you looked like someone worth helping. For the first time in a long while, Emma believes that maybe she is. Just when things begin to feel almost normal, the past comes clawing back. Emma's phone buzzes one morning, an anonymous message with a screenshot of an old text she once sent to Brandon. The caption reads, "Still pathetic. Still obsessed." Below it, the sender is clear, Sienna. Emma's hands tremble as she shows the screen to Ben. She's starting again, she whispers. She's posting this stuff online. Before panic can fully settle, a sharp knock sounds at the door. Emma opens it to find Sienna standing there, flawless as ever, phone in hand. Just thought I'd check in, she says, peering inside with a mocking smile. And who's this? Your rebound? He looks budget. Emma's jaw tightens, but before she can speak, Ben steps beside her. Ben Bennett, he says coolly, her husband. and you're interrupting our morning." Sienna blinks. "Husband, please." Without missing a beat, Ben pulls a small box from his coat pocket. A silver bracelet, sleek and elegant. "Here, Emma," he says, handing it to her. "Thought you'd like it." She slips it on, stunned. "Believe it now?" Ben asks Sienna, his voice firm. Sienna's smirk falters. "This isn't over," she snaps before turning on her heel and disappearing down the hallway. Emma exhales slowly. The bracelet shimmers under the morning light, and so does something else: gratitude. A week later, Ben surprises Emma with 2 tickets to a charity gala downtown. "You've been cooped up too long," he says, handing her a simple black dress. "Let's just get out for a night." Emma hesitates, but agrees. The venue is dazzling, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the lake, chandeliers glowing like stars. Emma feels underdressed, out of place. But Ben fits right in, exchanging nods with sharply dressed strangers. They're sipping champagne when a man in a tailored suit approaches. "Mr. Bennett," he says, extending a hand. "Good to see you back." Emma's glass halts mid-air. Ben recovers smoothly. "Good to see you too. This is my wife, Emma." Wife. The word lands with a strange weight. The man nods and disappears, but Emma is already looking at Ben, suspicion burning in her eyes. "Why did he call you Mr. Bennett like that meant something?" she asks. Ben exhales and sets down his glass. "We should talk, somewhere private." Out on the balcony, with the city glittering below, he finally says it. "I'm not just a firefighter. I run Bennett Developments, real estate, construction. The company's mine." Emma blinks, stunned. "You're a CEO, and you didn't tell me? I wanted you to see me, not the money, not the title." She steps back, hurt washing over her. "So, this whole time, you've been lying." "I wasn't lying," he says softly. "I was waiting." She looks away, the silver bracelet on her wrist suddenly heavier than before. "I need time," she says, and walks back inside, leaving Ben in the cold, regret settling around him like snow. The morning after the gala, Emma's phone rings. The caller ID makes her stomach twist. Richard Caldwell. Her father's voice is clipped, tense. "We need to talk. Come to the old house in Lake Forest. It's about your mother's company." Emma hasn't spoken to him in years. Still, something in his tone, urgency mixed with desperation, makes her agree. When she tells Ben, he insists on coming, but Emma shakes her head. "If it's really about her, I need to go alone." The house is exactly as she remembered, cold, grand, and empty of warmth. Richard is waiting in the sitting room, alongside Jocelyn Blake, Sienna's mother, whose smile is razor thin. Richard wastes no time. "Grayson Interiors is collapsing. The company your mother built, it's drowning. We need an investor fast." Emma folds her arms. "So why call me now?" "Because you owe us," Jocelyn snaps. "Victor Kessler is willing to save the company, but he wants a personal connection." Emma blinks. "You mean me?" Richard's voice lowers. "It's not personal, it's business. Meet him, convince him, help us keep the company." Emma recoils. "You want to sell me off like some bargaining chip?" Richard's jaw tightens. "It's practical." Before Emma can speak, Jocelyn adds coldly, "Do it for your mother. She'd want this saved." But Emma knows that's a lie. She stands slowly, voice shaking but firm. "You didn't care when she died. You don't get to use her now." And with that, she walks out, heart pounding, fury rising, and finally ready to fight back. Emma slams the door behind her as she steps out into the cold. Her breath fogs the air, but the fire in her chest burns hotter than any winter wind. She dials Ben as she walks to her car. "You were right. They don't want help, they want control. They'd rather sell me than lose their grip." "I'm on my way," Ben says, already grabbing his coat. Back at the apartment, Emma rifles through a box of old documents. Tucked between yellowed sketchbooks and photo albums, she finds what she's looking for. Her mother's will, the original copy. Her heart pounds as she reads the words aloud. 50% of Grayson Interiors and full rights to the Lake Forest house, bequeathed to Emma Caldwell. Ben arrives just as she finishes. They took it all, she says, and they lied. Ben doesn't hesitate. Then we take it back. He pulls out his phone and calls Danielle Brooks, a sharp, no-nonsense attorney he's worked with for years. I need everything they've touched looked into. Property, shares, the will. If it's stolen, I want it returned. Emma watches him, something shifting inside her. He's no longer just the stranger who stepped in at the airport. He's standing beside her, ready to go to war for her past. And this time, she won't be running. They sit together, the will spread across the table like a battle plan. The fear hasn't vanished, but now it's joined by something stronger. Resolve. Trouble doesn't wait long to respond. That evening, Emma's phone buzzes again, an anonymous number. When she picks up, a voice distorted through a voice changer hisses. Leave him or you both go down. The company, the baby, everything. Emma's blood runs cold. She hasn't told anyone she's pregnant. Not Eve Ben Eve. Her fingers tighten around the phone. Meanwhile, across the city, Carter Jennings, Ben's ambitious cousin and executive VP of Bennett Developments, meets secretly with Sienna. She's his weakness, Sienna says, lips curled into a satisfied smirk. And you want his seat. Carter nods. The board's already nervous. If we drop the right story at the right time? Together, they launch a smear campaign, digging into Emma's past, twisting truths into poison. By morning, headlines whisper, "Who is Emma Caldwell, gold digger or strategic wife?" The internet explodes. Emma stares at the screen in silence, the weight of their fake marriage suddenly crashing in for real. Emma wakes to the sound of her phone ringing. Her father again. "It's your grandmother. Eleanor's not well," he says, his voice laced with urgency. "She's asking for you. Come alone." Despite everything, Emma races north to Lake Forest, heart pounding. Eleanor Caldwell, her grandmother, is the only one who ever truly loved her. She won't ignore the call. At the old house, Richard meets her at the door, expression grave. "She's upstairs, but listen. Before you go up, there's something we need." Emma narrows her eyes. "If you sign over your shares, Grayson Interiors, the house, we can save it all," he says. "Do it for the family." Emma pushes past him, climbing the stairs 2 at a time. Eleanor lies in her chair, frail but alert, eyes shining when she sees Emma. "I knew you'd come," she whispers, voice weak. Richard bursts in, papers in hand. "Sign it now, please." "No," Eleanor croaks. "He's been pushing me for weeks. It's killing me." Emma's fury ignites. "You're stressing her out for money?" Eleanor clutches her hand. A soft breath leaves her lips. Then nothing. Emma stares in horror. "No, no." "Grandma." She calls 911, but it's too late. Outside the house, snow begins to fall again, covering everything in silence. Emma doesn't cry until she's back in the car. Eleanor is gone, and with her, the last piece of safety Emma ever knew. Her phone rings. Danielle, the attorney. "Emma, I just got word. Carter's called an emergency board meeting. He's trying to take control of Bennett Developments while Ben's absent." Emma's breath catches. She still hasn't heard from Ben. She tries calling, no answer. An hour later, Owen Graves, Ben's assistant, calls. His voice is tight. "Ben's been in an accident. Hit and run. He's in surgery. It looks bad." The world tilts. Emma doesn't scream. She doesn't fall apart. Instead, she packs her mother's will, throws on a black coat, and heads straight for Bennett Developments. The boardroom falls silent as she enters. "I'm Emma Caldwell," she says, voice clear, "legal wife of Ben Bennett and co-heir to Grayson Interiors, now worth millions." Carter rises, smug. "You don't belong here." She slams the will on the table. "This says otherwise, and until Ben wakes up, I speak for him." The room shifts. Doubt creeps into Carter's expression. Owen steps forward, placing a folder in front of her. "Mr. Bennett left clear instructions. You're his proxy." Emma takes a slow breath, her voice calm but fierce. "I'm not leaving, and I'm not afraid of any of you anymore." And no one dares tell her otherwise. Ben wakes 3 days later, his eyes fluttering open under the sterile glow of the hospital room. Emma is there, head resting on his hand, eyes red but alive with relief. "You came back," she whispers, barely able to speak through the tears. He manages a faint smile. "You held the line, didn't you?" She nods, her voice trembling. "I had to. For you. For us." Ben squeezes her hand weakly. "I know everything now. Owen filled me in. Carter, Sienna, your father." They crossed lines. With Ben conscious, the wheels of justice turn fast. His legal team moves like thunder, exposing Carter's attempt to sabotage the company and tie him to the smear campaign. Sienna's messages are traced. Richard's abuse of power over Eleanor's estate is brought to court. Emma stands beside Ben at every press briefing, every board meeting. Her quiet strength silences doubters. Then one evening, as snow falls gently against the hospital window, Emma takes Ben's hand and places it over her stomach. "I was going to wait, but you deserve to know now." Ben blinks, stunned. "We're having a baby." Silence. Then joy breaks through the pain on his face. His voice is hoarse but sure. "We're gonna be okay, all three of us." Spring arrives quietly in Chicago. Snow melts into sidewalks. The trees along the lake bloom again. In a small stone chapel near the water, Emma walks down the aisle in a simple white dress, her belly just beginning to show, her steps steady, her heart full. At the altar, Ben waits, healed, stronger, and finally whole. This time, there's no paperwork, no panic, just love. They renew their vows in front of a handful of close friends. Owen smiles from the pews. Danielle stands beside him, hands folded with quiet pride. There's no grand spectacle, just two people choosing each other for real. "You may kiss the bride," the priest says with a warm grin. Ben leans forward, pressing his forehead to Emma's before kissing her softly. The chapel fills with quiet applause. Later, in their new apartment overlooking the lake, they paint a nursery together. Soft yellow walls, hand-built furniture, a small rocking chair by the window. Emma frames a photo of Eleanor and places it on the shelf. "She would have loved this," she says. Ben wraps an arm around her, fingers resting gently on her growing bump. "We made it," she whispers, her hand resting over his. He leans in, pressing a kiss to her temple. "And this is the life we fought for." The past may have broken them, but love, real, unshakable, put them back together again.